What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to Omar BYT, and welcome, guys, to yet another episode of the Culers Culture Show, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 15 of the Culers Culture Show with the guys in here, man. Big up to every single one of you guys who are already in here. Apologies, guys, for being late, guys. I was still setting up the stream backstage. I was out all day, so I couldn't set up the stream on time. But sorry, guys, for being late, man. Appreciate every single one of you guys who are already in here. Make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. And yeah, man, as you can see, guys, some of the guys are already in here. Big up to Picardo, man. Big up to you, bro. How you doing?
Yo, what's up?
Yeah, big up to Abs as well, man. Abs, bro, you haven't been in the show for a while, man. Finally back, bro, after your little
What's
hiatus.
up, bro?
First show during the new season, bro. How
You
you
good?
doing,
Yeah,
bro?
bro. Welcome. How you been?
Hey, listen, man. Listen, happy to be here, man. Big up to every single one of you guys. Obviously, man. Listen, big up to every single one of you guys. Smash the like button. Big up to Khalid, man. Sorry for the lateness, man. Big up to Street Fighter. Big up to every single one of you. The other guys will be joining us as the show goes on, man. Appreciate every single one of you guys. But listen, let's get straight into it, man. Let's get straight into it because listen, I do want to talk about I was gonna start with Ferran Torres thing, but with the Fermin Lopez thing, but let's start with the La Liga game, right? Let's start with the game between Barcelona and Levante, right? Obviously, we started our season, right? 2 wins out of 2. But let's be honest, man. The last game was definitely we really had to work hard for that one. We really had to work hard for that performance against Levante. They really made it hard for us. It was a poor first half, right? We were 2-0 down. We didn't perform well in that first half. Second half, things changed. The performance changed. We improved. The team improved. And then guess what? We were rewarded with our great performance in the second half, and we ended up winning the game 3-2. Obviously, goals by Pedri with an absolute bullet, bro. That goal is going to be the goal. That goal is going to be contender for goal of the season already, man. Like, that's already an early contender for goal of the season. Amazing strike from him. And then, obviously, within a few minutes later, Ferran Torres made it 2-2, right? And in the end, Lamine Yamal's cross, right, gets headed into the back of the net, own goal. We come back, but amazing performance in the second half, but it was a very, very poor game all around from the team, right? We didn't start well in the game. And I do want to ask you guys, both of you, right? What did you guys think of the performance, the comeback, and everything else involved in all of that?
Gone.
Yeah, that performance from Barcelona in the first half was not good. I could say we kind of got dominated, but you could tell that we were missing Frankie's presence because Levante were playing a deep low block. Like, it was so hard to break down their defense. They were definitely playing 5 at the back. So the first half, it was not good. So I was kind of disappointed on why Rashford had to get subbed off. But then I saw why Flick subbed him off, because the impact of Dani Olmo and Gavi pretty much won us the game with Pedri's goal, Varane's goal, and the own goal. But what I've noticed is that you can't play Rashford and Rafinha together because they both don't work. Rafinha as a 10, it doesn't work. Rashford on the left, it doesn't work. One has to play while the other has to be on the bench. But I thought Rashford had a good game in the first half, but we can't have both of them on the same pitch. You go ahead.
Go ahead, Abs.
That wasn't a great performance. I'll be honest. First half, right? We're already conceding chances because of the high line, right? Which is a very bad thing. I'll never be a fan of the high line, right? And that's a big problem. Why are we conceding chances? Why are we conceding goals already against Levante, by the way? Right? Levante is a tough opponent. Let's get that right. But come on, man. If we're conceding these easy chances already, right? Second game of the season. What about when we face top teams in the Champions League or even Real Madrid? Real Madrid is a possession-based team now. They can play out the back. Let's get that right. They've got Dean Huijsen right at centre back. They've got Trent at right back. They've got a new left back who can drive with the ball, by the way. They've got they've got players who can bloody United lost. Yes, I just watched the penalty and Mbemo made.
Hey, yeah, we forget about United right now.
I know. Sorry, but all those fans, League 2 fans, are on the pitch. They're on the pitch, bro. They're ready. But anyways, like it's the second game of the season. You're giving us heart attacks. What's going on, my friend? Hansi Flick said, "Listen, I'm going to make some changes." At the end of the season, he said, "What changes have I seen? The only change I've seen is in the front line. Rashford's playing up top. I saw Rafinha playing a bit more on the right hand side next to Lamine.
He wasn't playing
But
on the left.
no, what? Where's the defensive changes, my friend? I can't rely on Araujo and Kubarsi to play the high line all the time. Kubarsi is a bozo. I'll be honest to you guys now. I finally seen the light. He makes some bozo decisions, and that first goal, like I said on Yunus' stream, this guy is putting his hands behind his like his in his back, yeah, right? His arms behind his back, and he's defending. You're limiting your movements, bro. It needs to be on your side. You're not Ramos. Ramos is amazing at that. Ramos keeps it behind him, whatever. You need to. Okay, I know he's young. He makes mistakes, but bro, it's the second game of the season, my friend. Why are you giving us heart attacks? Rashford down the middle will never work for me. I'll be honest.
I mean,
Rashford needs to be
he wasn't technically playing in the middle. He was playing out in the left.
Then he moved to the left. We realized it didn't work. Then he moved to the left. Rashford is a player who wants the ball to his feet. He wants to take on players. But when I saw that, I was like, bro, we need Rafinha on the left. I'll be honest. But it's just the second game of the season anyways. Anything can happen. But I wasn't really happy with the performance. Like, I don't want to be 2-0, 1-0 down all the time and rely on these guys to make a comeback. And one day that comeback won't happen. Like we saw against Inter Milan. It won't happen, man. And it's a big heartbreak when those things happen, right? Not just the Champions League, in La Liga, whatever. I can't always rely on these guys to make a comeback because it's not always gonna happen, bro.
Right. No, I 100% agree. But big up to Jonas for joining us. Big up to you, bro. But yeah, Jonas, we were just recapping on the La Liga game this past weekend, right? Now, obviously, you were on the KR show together. You had your own words. We both had our opinions. But listen, just to refreshing people who haven't heard your opinions on the game, what did you think of the performance and the comeback, basically, in general?
So you guys can hear me, right?
Yeah, you're clear.
Okay, yeah. So basically what I thought about the game was that, I mean, we didn't play good, but of course we got the 3 points. But listen, it's just another game, right? Barcelona, I don't feel like we're fully at our best. Like the first game, what was it, Mallorca? I didn't feel like we played at our best. I mean, the other game against Levante, brother, down 2-0 again. Like, this is the thing with Barcelona. I love that we can do the remontadas, right? It's great. And listen, I think that to win the Champions League, let's be honest, Xavi's Barcelona, Koeman, even Ernesto Valverde's Barcelona, we couldn't make comebacks. So, like, when the going got tough, we were just cooked. So that's the good thing about it. Hansi Flick's Barcelona, they have this ability that the last 3-4 managers of Barca, their Barcelona teams could not come back from 2-0. But I just feel like we rely on it too much and we start too slow sometimes. So I kind of like the mentality Flick has made that, what, even against Inter, we saw some of it, right? But then, once again, imagine if Inter Milan, I said to Omar, imagine if Inter Milan, we didn't go down 2-0 in the second leg. What if we were up 2-0, right? If we just started better, what if we just 0-0 and then Barcelona find their form and Rafinha scores? Brother, I feel like Barcelona, that's the only thing that I feel like we rely a bit too much on the remontadas. But outside of that, bro, the second half, a lot much better. The defense was better in the second half. Jan Garcia bailed us out a couple times, right, in the second half. Pedri Gonzalez, man. This guy is amazing, brother. But if I can't say anything bad about Pedri. He's the one guy that it's almost impossible to criticize. He's got everything. And the one thing that they criticize him about, he doesn't shoot enough. What about that? Pick that one out. You know what I'm saying? You could have two goalkeepers. You're not saving that. You know what I'm saying? So that was awesome. And then Ferran, you know what? Ferran, brother, I don't know how
he paid for that before, because the first half, bro, he missed an absolute sitter. And guess what? He ended up working. And you know what it is? I love that. Because here's the thing, bro. That's what you need to do, bro. When you do things like what you did in that first half, where the fans are calling you out, criticizing you, just rightfully, right? Guess what? That's how you respond. That is how you respond. And we responded, and he responded well with that equalizer, right?
Yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie. Ferran Torres, brother, I don't know what's with him, but like the guy just keeps on scoring. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like in the preseason, last season, even now, it's like, brother, it's like, Omar, we no longer have that feeling as Barca fans of like when Ferran's in the lineup, flip, man, Ferran, I have to watch Ferran. Nah, bro. Now I'm like, Ferran's in the lineup. I'm like, bro, there's a good chance he scores. So I'm not mad at it at all. So, you know, credit to Ferran. You got to give credit where it's due, right? The guy's playing absolutely great, right? And then I feel like the comeback, Lamine Yamal, right? I'm not trying to criticize Lamine. I don't think he was really forcing it like the last game, like Mallorca against Levante. But I just think, I don't know, something just looks a little bit off with Lamine, right? I don't want to go too crazy. I don't want to be reactionary.
Oh, here we go.
If we're being honest, Omar, right? Lamine Yamal from last season, right? I just feel like he was just better. And this season, I don't know what it is. I really don't know.
It's just the beginning, bro. I feel everybody needs to pick things up, man. You know what I mean? Once we get into the flow, then we'll see. And also, it feels like we have just such a high standard for Lamine Yamal that like we expect him to do, like we expect him to play the best every game. Like this game against Levante, I think he was good. Yes, he could have done more, but because we have his standards so high, for us it looks disappointing. Or for us, be like, okay, Yamal, he could have this. But I still feel like he had a good game. Sometimes the left back had the best of Yamal. I'm not even gonna lie. He did. Couple moments he did, but he still had some impact in the game as well, which I still love about it. If Yamal gets locked up and has no impact, and we see that consistently, then we can really ask questions. But at least he's impacting the game, even without stats or with stats.
No, but Abs, you're right, bro. Maybe it's the standards, but you know what? It's like I'm not saying he even played bad. It's just like 2 games from Lamine Yamal where honestly, I just expect to see magic from Lamine, bro. Like we saw it last season, like every single game. It's like even if he is not his best game, we're gonna see a crazy Trivela pass. Like I remember Espanyol last season when Dani almost scored a brace, bro. Lamine Yamal just absolute what a pass. And then it's like this season, I'm not going to say he's bad. Brother, it's 2 games. I'm not going to be reactionary. But it's like, I feel like Lamine Yamal, 2 games, it feels like a drought because that's how good he was last season. That's why I'm saying last season, honestly, I would have given him the Ballon d'Or last season, bro. I thought he was that good. So it's like 2 games in a row. Listen, we'll see what happens against Rayo, though.
I mean, look. Yeah. I'm going to – go ahead.
I don't think Lamine had his best game, but – if it wasn't for the cross in the final minute to force the own goal, we would have not won this game. But defensively, man, I'm worried about this defense. And the fact that we have no left center back because Kubarsi cannot play as a left center back. That's not his role. Araujo was not bad against Levante, but I still can't trust him. But we have no choice but to rely on him. And with the departure of Inigo, the club is not looking to sign a left center back. But we have what other options do we have? I just don't understand. And plus, I don't know what was going on with I don't know what was going on with Ferran. I mean, he's got his goal, but there was like a couple of chances he should have scored. And look,
that Pedri pass, that 1v1 sitter that you missed.
Bro, you know what's crazy? It was harder to miss that chance than to like it was actually hard that was
Leva scoring. I'll be honest, Leva scoring that for you, bro.
I don't know what's going on, but
you know what it is. Look,
dude, Mbappe makes a living of those chances, by the way.
If we don't,
exactly.
If we don't fix up defensively, then bro, we are in trouble, man. We are in trouble defensively, man. I'm telling you.
We've been in trouble since who knows how long, bro.
Bro,
but it's the system, bro. It is what it is. It's the system, and we know we're in trouble because of the defense. That's where our attack needs to do double more than the leaks or whatever the chances we give for the opponents.
You know what?
The attack needs to do much more better, bro.
I want to say one thing on Ferran. That's why, as much as I'm like always almost there to like fully back Ferran Torres, right, just as a player. But then like when he's in that hot form, and then he just reminds us, you know what I'm saying, that he's not the elite striker. And this is why Barcelona, at the end of the day, next summer, I want us to get an elite striker because Ferran is good. I'll give you that, right? He's reliable. But when it comes to game in, game out, there's just another level where we see from Lewandowski in his career and also at Barcelona. But listen, the high line, man, I don't know what to say. I always call Barcelona's defense, it's a gas station, bro. It's legit. It's always open. Always open. You can pull through whenever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not joking. It's like 2 passes and you're in on Barcelona. I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm starting to have some concerns on it too, man.
Can we change?
I heard.
Can we please change the way we play? Like, instead of the high line, can we please change
that?
that?
No, it's not.
Brother, he will die by the high line, bro.
We're never going to change that. But listen, big up to Barca Volume. Big up to you for joining. Listen, we wanted to start with the Levante game. Obviously, We'll come back. Now, look, I get what everyone is saying, defensive this, Look, man, I think all of us can agree. We knew our defense wasn't going to be good this season. That's the truth. We knew our defense wasn't going to be great this season, right? We knew we were not going to have one of the top 5 defenses in the league, let alone in the world. You understand what I mean, right?
Yeah.
We were hoping that our attack was going to save us, just like it did against Levante. Our attack was great. And Yamal, you can listen. This is the thing, right? I was one of the people that wasn't even criticizing Yamal like I did in the opening game. I actually agreed with the way Yamal was playing, because sometimes I feel like when a team is setting up in a certain way, you got to play in a certain way. You can see Levante were playing the low block. We were going to struggle to open them up. Did you see? This is why I was praising Pedri and I was praising Yamal, because they understood, okay, well, listen, we can't break them down. We got to take shots from outside the box and make them work so that they can realize, these guys can actually shoot from outside the box. We can't actually, we can't just keep closing them down, giving them the space outside the box because they can shoot. You understand what I mean, right?
That's exactly what we need to do.
And that's the thing. Yamal was taking the shots. That's why they were literally, you could see they were 2-3 man in him, because they knew he was gonna try to cut inside and shoot. It didn't matter if he was outside the box, he was gonna try. And when Pedri scored that goal, then that's when they started opening up, because they realized, okay, we actually have to close these guys down completely. Because you just saw what Pedri just did. They can shoot from outside the box. But we'll come back. But Vasa Volume, bro, talk to me about the performance against Levante, the comeback against Levante, bro.
Yeah, no. In my post-game show, I called out Hansi Flick for this, because this reminded me of the Osasuna game. Definitely. Osasuna last season, we went to play a tough place to play in Osasuna. Historically, we always struggle there. And I thought at that time, going into that game with 5 of your starters on the bench, that was an issue. And in the first half, Osasuna just break us open, man. So at the half, when of course, right, Hernandez makes that boneheaded mistake, calls that a penalty, and then we're not going to get into it here. But what I'm saying is that the fact of the matter is, at that time it was down 0-2 once again for Barcelona, and I remember at halftime I was thinking, you know what, this is the Osasuna game all over again. Right. Hansi Flick, is trying to experiment things. He left Olmo on the bench. He put Rafinha at the 10. He bring in Rashford as a left wing, which, by the way, I thought he played good. I like what I saw from him. Yeah. He just needs time. But it's experimenting nonetheless. So if you ask me, I think that was a huge mistake, because as soon as Gavi came in the second half, Pedri and Gavi just were light years better than what, Gavi, Pedri, and Olmo were light years better than Casado, Pedri, and Rafinha at the 10. It was literally like I saw it on my tactical videos, where the problem is that Rafinha is a natural winger. He's going to look to attack most of the time. And what was happening in the first half is that when Lamine had the ball, for example, wide open, instead of Rafinha going to support Lamine Yamal for give and goes and try to see if I can ask for the ball, right? Rafinha was sprinting down in transition, trying to get a cross from Lamine, because that is his default setting. Him and Lamine have an incredible chemistry, but it was playing in reverse in this game, because Lamine needed association, needed somebody to play with, and Rafinha was constantly leaving to that number just to make that run, right? For example, as soon as in the second half, right, we brought in Gavi, we have Pedri, we brought in Olmo. Olmo, to his credit, he didn't have the best game. He didn't jump off your screen, but he played the 9 position like a 9. He played the 10 position like a 10 would play it, with support, with creation, with link-up play.
Master Volume. This is why I always keep defending him, because I'm telling you, that number 10 role is valuable. I feel like people don't understand that to play in that number 10 role, you have to learn. There's movements you have to make. It's not just about, like, you can say, oh, well, we could put Yamal there. Yeah, we can put Rafinha there. Guys, these guys are not 10s. Respectfully, they're not 10s. Mm-hmm. To have a 10 is a special position for special players. And the thing with Olmo is his injury issues are his problem. But really, when he's fit, he is our best number 10. He starts every single game when he's fit. You understand what I mean, right? Because he brings something different to the team. Yeah. He doesn't get goals and assists all the time, but it's important.
It was very clear to me that this game should have started the other way around. It should have been Olmo, Gavi, and then have Rafinha at the left wing. And then maybe if we were winning that game 2-0, we can bring in Rashford in the second half to play the whole second half if we want to. Now, to go switch to the high line, right? I said on the Chaos show, I said that Real Madrid needed to do something radical because it wasn't going to work into the match day 2. So really going into match day 3, what I think the Barcelona needs to do something radical, man. Whether that is moving with RSM, we were talking about what can Barcelona do, right? Maybe move a couple of feet behind. There's one thing that I saw in my tactical video when it comes to the high line, right? Mm-hmm. There's a play on the first goal where Cubarsí make the mistake. Yeah. So Barcelona is drawing the line, right? And the line is drawn just fine. There's no mistakes about it. But the problem is that we teach our CBs to kind of like move away from the line so that we can catch them offside, right? But when they break it, then as soon as they break it, you're behind because instead of going this way, you're going that way. Yeah, you're going into the opposite direction. So what happened on that play? So Araujo, who's supposed to track down the breakthrough player, goes like this to try to draw the line even further out, instead of tracking back with the attacker. So that is the issue that we have with this high line. Is like, okay, let's say the line is right where it needs to be. Can our players, instead of like that's just a small tweak that we can do. Instead of our players trying to go the opposite direction, can we just draw the line wherever the line is and just sprint all the way back without having to go the opposite direction and then sprint? Because that's literally what Araujo did on that play. If you go look at that goal from Cubarsí, Araujo goes opposite direction and then sprints to track down the attacker. And at that point, he's already 2 to 3 feet away from him. He can't really block the cross. And that's where the main issue is. So like at least Hansi Flick needs to tweak. Like, can we teach our players not to do that stutter move and just like whatever, let's try to draw the line wherever it is and just sprint all the way back. And something radical needs to happen, whether that's moving the line way back or even like at least have our players not do that move. And of course, now we have to say it, right? Cubarsí, people will say, he's playing as a left CB. That's the issue. But it's not just that's the issue though, because in that particular play, that particular issue, it had nothing to do with playing on the left or playing on the right. That particular issue to me is like the player is pump faking you and you're going all the way. You gotta like stay your ground, stay in front of the ball. That's literally just be sound, just be focused. Like players can do whatever they want in the box as long as you stay in front of the ball. You can block the shot, and that's the issue with Cubarsí on that play, where the player just pump fakes and then the player goes, Cubarsí goes right all the way.
Yeah, that's the little things. That's true. And
then you left the spot wide open. You can't do it. And at that point, then you also Araujo could have slide and just put more emphasis on that play, because Araujo almost covered for Cubarsí, but he couldn't get there because he didn't slide. You gotta slide, dude. You gotta go for the challenge. Did it, but he didn't do it. He had to do it faster. You gotta close the gap even faster. And this is why I said before the season started, be patient with Joan Garcia, because our defense is going to leave goalkeepers out to dry. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
Garcia could do nothing about it.
One more thing with Cubarsí against Inter Milan, when they scored the winner, Cubarsí did not close the gap between him and Fratesi as well. If you look back to it as well, he did the same mistake here. He did the same mistake at Inter as well.
And this is what I mean, Barca Volume. When I was in the Chaos show with you, when I called out Cubarsí, it's not about calling out Cubarsí. It's calling out the things that is normal for a player of Cubarsí's age. You see things like positioning, things like timing of tackles. This is things that you learn the more the more experience you have, right? When you reach your 20s, early 20s, you start to understand the system. You start to understand when and where at the timing of each tackles and everything. You see, when a guy like Araujo, as much criticism as he gets, you can see that yes, he struggles with the high line, but look at when he's tackling. His tackles are most of the time perfect. He's getting the ball, because this is things that you learn. This is things that you experience. This is things that never leave you. This is why when I look at Cubarsí, I say with Cubarsí, he's a player learning on the job as time goes on. We're trying to win, and he's still learning his game as the team is going on. The issue with this is you're gonna make mistakes while learning. You understand what I mean, right? And that's why I feel like we need to take our time with this kid. We can't keep relying on him because, yeah, he's got potential. Yeah, he's from La Masia. Yes, he's all of this. That's all great. And I know that one day we're going to look at Kobashi as one of the best defenders in the world. Absolutely. I think he has to, he's on that trajectory. Every person who's watched him knows he's on that trajectory. But he's on that trajectory. He's not there yet. And that's why I look at him like, well, with Flick, he needs to start trusting the experienced defenders like a Christensen more. Look at Christensen when he came on, even in the game against Levante. He was much more cooler. He was much more calm. And this is the way he plays his game. You understand what I mean, right?
Yeah,
and this is also another thing I need to mention here, right? I know people were criticizing Flick for taking risk. Now, here's the thing. Hindsight, I agree with everyone, right? I think that Flick could have waited until, the second half to make it changes, do the experiments and everything. That's fine, right? But in a way, I can see maybe why he thought that, okay, well, this is a newly promoted club. They're gonna come and set up. They're not gonna attack us. He's never played against Levante, so this was like the first time he's playing against Levante. I think he underestimated how good they would be. You understand what I mean? In their home stadium, because he's never played against them. So he decided that he was gonna experiment because we knew this was gonna happen. We were like, well, he decided,
we were getting crushed
let
in
me see
transition
how.
in the first half.
Yeah,
we were getting crushed in transition.
That's what I'm saying. He said, okay, well, I want to see how Rashford, Rafinha, and Yamal play together. Let's see if that works, right? Okay, it didn't work out. Okay, cool. Fine. He decided, okay, Casado and Pedri. That's a combination that worked last season for most of the season. It worked, right? You remember when we're doing the breakdown of the pre-match on your channel volume, right?
Yeah.
We were sitting there talking about, because we thought
preview,
Gavi and Pedri was going to be the partnership. And I said, don't underestimate. I think that we could still see Casado. And we ended up seeing him. And Casado didn't play well. But look at when Gavi came on. Gavi and Pedri's combination actually worked. So imagine if that combination actually started. We were worried that combination might not work, but then it actually worked out in the second half, which then gives the possibility of, well, okay, well, maybe Flick can look at it and say, well, I might have been, I considered bringing Gavi and Pedri as a midfield, but now I see that in my work, maybe I could try it in the next game. You understand what I mean, right? I think when it comes to Flick is one of those guys, he always wants to test the whole squad. Because you know what it is? We saw it last season. This is why we had such a squad depth. Because remember when the season started last season, we were thinking our squad wasn't good enough. It wasn't big enough, right? We were thinking, this squad is so tiny. But this is the thing. Flick kept on tweaking, testing, doing all this stuff, giving players like Catado, Mark Bernal, Alejandro, guys like Balde, Gerard Martin. He was giving all these guys chances. And all of a sudden, we went from having a thin squad to looking at it and saying, we actually have depth in the midfield. Look at the amount of midfield that we have. Look at the amount of look at guys like Inigo. Look at guys like Inigo, how they're playing. Look at Gerard Martin. Look at Hector Fort. We actually have some depth here. We didn't even realize it. I think that's what he's trying to do this season. He's gonna implement guys like Pedro Fernandez in the future. He's gonna try and bring Bernal later. He's gonna try to bring maybe Jeffrey Torres later on during the games, right? And he's gonna try to implement Rashford because Rashford is here. Whether we like it or not, Rashford is here. So he's gonna try to see what is the best position he can play this guy to see if he can get the best out of him. You know what I mean?
To watch out for after he tore his ACL. So
you know what it is. For me, I just thought that, to be honest, I'm not gonna kill Hansi Flick, but to be honest, this game, I'm not gonna kill even Kabarsi because Kabarsi makes a mistake. He gets beat too easily. Let's be honest, right? It's a good
just
move.
Stay on the ball, Jonas. Just stay on the ball and stay in front of it.
He just gets beat too easily and then they score. It's still a good move from the attacker, but dude, I think the biggest reason why the Levante game was more difficult than it needed to be, like you guys said, was Hansi Flick. Like I always said, if you want to experiment when we're up 3-0. You know what I'm saying? When we're up 4-0 or 2-0 even, right? But to be honest, the one thing we must say, I think that we learned from this game is that Rafinha at the 10, man, I just don't like him, man. I like Dani Olmo way better. I even like Fermin a lot better against low blocks than Rafinha at the 10 because Rafinha is a guy, if you remember the Mallorca game, he comes in late and he scores a goal because he's just so good at making runs. But as a 10, he has these tendencies.
I want to say something about that.
He runs away from the ball where Dani Olmo is the complete opposite of Rafinha at the 10. Instead of running away from the ball to make a run, right? Dani Olmo's coming to Lamine Yamal to come short. He's coming to Pedri. And in a midfield, brother, I mean, we're getting outmanned. Like, it's going to be 3v2 if Rafinha's playing like another striker. So I thought that – yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing I want to say to piggyback off that, Jonas, is that I think it's very apparent to me because the Rafinha at the 10 has worked before. Against Inter, we moved them to the middle, and what happened? More creation, more creativity. So I think it's very apparent that we need to use this as a break glass type of thing. When Rafinha is getting neutralized, I'm a big believer. If it's not broken, don't fix it. So
Right.
why can't we stick to Rafinha on the left going forward? If he's getting neutralized where he's not doing anything, then try to move him to the middle of the field like what we did against Inter, and I thought it worked to perfection. So going forward, we have to not start Rafinha at the 10, or maybe start Rafinha at the 10 for the tougher games when we're gonna have more spacing. But when teams are too compact, then it doesn't work. Now, just to finish my point on this game,
Right.
one thing I did see was two things. One thing is the Lamine Yamal playing stinkers. Let's get that off our heads because that's not true.
Yeah, man.
But before I say that, before I give my flowers to Lamine, I will give him my criticism. And my criticism comes in because, Omar, this is the second game when we got scored on in transition, when there's a rebound where Lamine picks up the ball and he gets dispossessed. And then when he gets dispossessed, we get caught with our pants down and we got scored on. It happened against Mallorca. I remember when he tried to dribble through players in transition, then he loses the ball, and then there was a counter, right? And then I think we were able to catch them all off sides on that goal that we got scored on against Mallorca. That was Lamine Yamal there, trying to maneuver his way around 4 different players. Give him credit, he's got guts and everything, but we have to think in terms of defense, in terms of like making the right play. And in this game happened the same thing. It was the end of the game. The referee should have blown the whistle, by the way. Nobody's talking about that.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's talking about that.
Wait,
that
how
was
many
the
minutes
last
time? Was it 7?
That was the last minute of the game because
And he didn't even.
he had called 3 minutes extra time. Lamine Yamal gets fouled at like the 47th and a half minute. It takes about 30 seconds to play. And then Lamine Yamal picks up the ball, and it's like 48 minutes and like 20 seconds. Lamine Yamal gets dispossessed, and after getting dispossessed, the referee lets the play on, which I don't know why. At the moment where Lamine had that ball, the whistle should have been blown because the game was over at that point. It was 48 minutes, and it lets the play on, and then what happens? The transition play, Balde tracks down, and we all know the rest is history, right? But that's the second game for Lamine that he gets dispossessed. He needs to be more careful, especially knowing that at that point we had basically our whole team trying to score in that moment, because the team thought we were just going to the game was over after that play, and it wasn't. So we need to be more careful when it comes to Lamine. But now what I will say, because I said that to say this, Lamine Yamal in the second half, people won't tell you this. The second goal for Ferran, as a matter of fact, the first goal, Lamine Yamal down the right, finds Pedri. Give him credit. Pedri, that's all you, buddy. That's a great bang. But that was an assist from Lamine, okay? So second goal is Lamine Yamal against Morales, who had done an amazing job on him. But Lamine Yamal is still asking for the ball, still trying to be a force in this game. What happens? One-on-one against Morales, makes a move to the right. Morales slides, to his credit, he guessed it, but it goes to the corner. Now, what happens in that corner? Rafinha finds Ferran scores. Nobody's going to talk about Lamine being a force, trying to get the ball,
I call it out
prior to that goal. And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but because when people were attacking him, I was one of the few people that was actually defending him, because I thought, yes, he made mistakes. Yes, some of his mistakes cost us a goal. Fine. That's all fine and dandy. But here's the thing, right? I'll call it out on that. But one thing he gave me in that game is that he knew he didn't give up. He didn't let his deficiencies get to him. He continued trying. And I respect that. I respect the fact that, he didn't have a good game first half, but he didn't let it get to him.
To put it in perspective, who was doing that for Real Madrid against Osasuna? Nobody kept constantly, relentlessly asking for the ball. That's exactly the attitude you need from a player when a team sets up beautifully with a low block. Probably the best job anybody's ever done on Lamine. And then what happens? And then what happens?
Even that Inter game, he was the one that was doing everything.
And then what happens on that third goal? Lamine Yamal asking for the ball. He gets the double team, and then he knows he can't go right where he wanted to go. to try to get across. So he kind of fakes the right and goes left and finds Ferran Torres. Ferran Torres couldn't get to it. The defender did. It was lucky bounce, but it was Lamine Yamal. Once again, all 3 goals were just because he was relentless in that game.
Yeah,
and that's one of the things that people won't tell you about his performance.
You know what it is? I know. I understand. I like this game. I didn't think Lamine had a bad game. I just honestly thought Flick kind of messed it up. It slowed us down. And honestly, Levante, you got to give credit where it's due, bro. Levante actually played way better than I thought. Like, way better. They gave us a great game. They were set up well, right? They played very hard in the midfield.
All relegation teams, by the way.
Brother, it's crazy. Like, Levante.
Elche, Levante, and Oviedo. Oviedo played pretty well, too.
Yeah, so, I mean, you just got to – I feel like –
the clubs have been putting their shifting.
Brother, that was a top 5, like, I feel like defensive performance against, like, Lamine Yamal in terms of just the way that they set up, right? So, you know what? It is what it is. My only concern with Yamal, you guys already know, is, like, a little bit of the decision-making. That's really it. But the goal, like the 3rd goal, that's all him, man. What a cross. By the way, if it wasn't an own goal, Lewandowski scoring that. That's why I gave credit to Lamine Yamal on the winning goal, because either way, it was pick your poison. Like, either you do a desperate, right, a header, and it goes into the back of the net, or Lewandowski has a free header.
Well, not only that, Jonas, but do you remember that header from Rafinha's cross in the second half where Ferran Torres gets the header and gets really soft, and he couldn't just bang that in, and then the goalkeeper was able to grab it, but Lewandowski is scoring like 9 out of 10 of those. That's most definitely.
Yeah, no, that's it. The only really like problem was maybe the turnover that you said on the counterattack. And I want to speak about that penalty. Never in a million years is that a penalty. I do not care.
Bro, the same referee ref the game against, was it us? Who? Yeah. There's so many penalties.
Yeah, it's the same ref. Hernandez is the same ref. The same ref, dude.
But this is what I think.
It's okay with me, Jonas. It's okay with me if there's an inconsistency. But when there's an inconsistency with the same ref going into the screen and looking at it and making 2 different decisions, I mean, that it's just against Barca.
Like, I don't even care. Like, bro, I wasn't even thinking about the ref at that time. My problem is that should never be a penalty in football. No way. Balde, that should have been a highlight for Balde, where he looks back in 5 years, where it was all him. He makes the tackle. Great tackle. And then after that, the shot, brother, he makes the right. He gets his arm. He puts it as quickly as he can, right? Turns a little.
Yeah, he tucked it in.
What can he do?
In his hands, bro. What does to do? What? If it is in his hands, this is supposed to when a player does this, it's counted
audio right here, by the way.
Natural position.
But my main problem, Jonas, my main problem is I made a video about this, and the audio from VAR, Hernandez said, "I see his arm extended." That's why he called the pen. Because he literally said, because the arm is extended, bro. So, if you are going to say it in Spanish, because your arm is extended, I see extended arm, it's a pen. How in a million years that's an extended arm? The letter of the law says if you cannot make your body bigger. So if you're moving your arms away from you, you're making your body look bigger than it is. And if you block the shot with an extended arm, that's a pen. But the way that he had it, let's say that he had his hands right behind his back. Let's say he had his hands behind his back. This ball was going to hit his chest. The ball was going to hit his chest. So what difference does it make that he has his arms in front of him? So like this instead of like this. No, if you have your arms like this, your ball is going to hit your hand. But if you didn't have your hands, it would hit your chest.
I got the audio right here for me to play right now.
That's the issue right there.
You know what it is? That should not be a penalty. My problem is this.
You already heard it?
What is Balde supposed to do? Like, actually, so what could have Balde done better? Nothing. Because he did the right thing.
What is he supposed to do? Is he supposed to cut his arm off?
That devil's advocate would say have your hands behind your back. That's what he could have done.
No, come on. You can't always defend like that.
That's what people say, though. I mean,
but keep in mind, Barcelona, that he just got up. He just got up off of the slide tackle that he did because he burst the 70 yards, did a slide tackle. Like, come on, bro. Like, a human is not gonna naturally think right away from getting up. Put your hands.
No, Hernandez was trying to screw us, man, big time, and he's done it before.
Nothing new, but listen, big up to every single one of you guys, man. Listen, we got like 80 people in here and we're only on 22 likes, bro. I'm telling you guys, the conversion rate in the chat is absolutely ridiculous. This is Vinicius Jr. last season, man, conversion rate. I thought we had Rafinha's in the chat, bro. Come on, man, smash the likes, guys. Get me to 30 likes ASAP. But big up to Enjoy for the super chat. I saw the super chat earlier, man. It says good time to become an interventional cardiologist.
Cardiologist. Those people work on hearts, and the way
Listen, the Highline definitely gives people some minor.
Dude, this Highline is literally making us miss the Xavi days where we actually set up a defense and we would win games 1-0, bro. Like
Barcelona, the thing is that with Xavi, like we'd win 1-0 and we'd just be like sleeping. Like that was like, you know what I'm saying?
Bro, Omar, dude, I remember there were games with Xavi that I was like, we won 1-0. And it's like one Lewandowski game, and I'm like, one Lewandowski goal, and I'd be like, what the hell was that, man? We couldn't create. I wonder. This is what watching Real Madrid feels like sometimes. It's like they play bad the whole game, and they win with a pen. They play bad the whole game, and they win 1-0. Or at the end of the day, right? They win 2-0, but it's like a boring game, dude.
Against Getafe last season where we beat them 1-0, or against Rayo Vallecano, we beat them 1-0.
Like imagine 20 of those a season. Like I'm not like Xavi's football was like, brother, that was like medication to put you to sleep.
Dude, can you imagine this team though? Like that's my thing. Can Hansi Flick do something about it? Because I want Hansi Flick to be like, go to his boys, right? And say, guys, let's try to get this game, Rayo Vallecano. Let's try to get a clean sheet. I don't give a rat's ass if we're gonna draw this game 0-0. We need a clean sheet. Like
have we even had a 0-0?
Did you see
no, hell no, not under Flick. No,
never had a 0-0.
Can we do that? Like that's
you see Rayo Vallecano's
forget about in this team. Clean sheets does not exist. I never look forward to saying yes.
We need to do something.
Garcia.
But we need to do something radical though. We need to try something. Whether that's a game, going with an emphasis, right? Set up a little bit back, to maybe 2 to 3 feet back, and just try to have like
2-3 yards back, maybe just outside the circle in our own half.
Yeah,
and let the midfielders defend a little bit more.
To me, like what I'm saying is like I think we're too harsh on Araujo. I think Araujo this season's playing well. Like I'm just gonna say,
only 2 games, man. It's only 2 games.
People were blaming people on X,
but we can't.
The Barca mistake where people were blaming Araujo there. I'm like, dude, do you realize?
Exactly, bro. I don't know why. I even got it on my chat.
It's because of what I said.
I'm like, bro, how is that Araujo's fault?
It's because of what I said, Omar. People see the starter move and see it as a bad play, but that's what Hansi Flick is telling his boys to do. So Araujo's doing what he's asked to do. Araujo's like, okay, Araujo, as soon as he makes the pass, I want you to track back and then sprint. But if you're not doing that, and if something goes wrong, and if we get scored on, and you're not doing what the coach is telling you to do, then you're going back to the bench. But for example, in this instance, he makes that mistake, the starter move, right? We get scored on, that's on the coach. So if it's on the coach, he's gonna keep playing. But if it's on him, if he's doing the opposite of what Flick is telling him to do, then at that point, dude, you gotta do what your coach is telling you. So if your coach is telling you to do the starter move and then sprint, then that's what you're gonna do, even if it's the wrong play. That's
not joking. No, this is actually true, because anybody dude, this is the thing about football. These coaches these days are very stubborn. Like if you do not do something that they like, they're gonna sub you off, and they're gonna game. They're gonna start the guy on the bench, and he's gonna do it because this is an opportunity to stay in the line.
What's the saying in the NFL? Coaches don't want to win. Coaches want to win their way, and that's just this fact. That's how it is.
I mean, it is what it is. But listen, guys, I do want to go to the next topic, right? Big up to every single one of you guys. Smash the like button, guys. Get us to 30 likes ASAP, guys. We're almost 5 away from 30 likes, guys. Get us to 30 likes. But listen, guys, let's go to the next topic, guys, because obviously, I saw, you guys, if you guys watch Blaugrana Bus, I talked about it for most of the Blaugrana Bus yesterday. But I do want to ask you guys your opinions. Now, you guys have seen the news, right? It's been everywhere. You guys have seen it. There it is. It's man like Fermin, right? You guys have seen that Chelsea are very interested in bringing in Fermin Lopez. Now, this is a news that came out like an hour ago, apparently, right? So, which basically states that Barcelona have told Fermin to make his final decision on his future tomorrow because the player right now is uncertain. Now, early talks was that apparently he was not open to the idea of leaving at all. he didn't want to leave. He didn't want to go to. He didn't want to go. He wanted to stay at Barcelona. But now they're saying that now he is in two minds, because now I feel like I think he might have spoken to Chelsea already, right? And now he's tempted by the move now, right? But what do you guys think about this? Because here's the thing, right? Before I let you guys have your say, I'm just gonna quickly tell you guys my honest opinion on this situation. When it comes to this situation, this is how I look at it. Barcelona, I had a feeling this was gonna happen. If you're someone that reads the news, no one should be surprised that this is happening, right? I told people, I said, listen, man, with the way we're struggling with registration, the 101 rule, we might end up losing one of our key players very, very soon. And the talk was either Casado or Fermin, right? We thought Casado was going to be the one because he's been the one that's been linked recently a lot. But now Fermin is the one that's being linked. And this is the thing here. I don't want this move to happen, but I understand why the club are considering it. Because I don't know how much Chelsea are saying. Apparently, it's like 50 million-esque that they're saying, right? And the talk is that if we do sell Fermin, then that means that we will be able to register all the other players that are not registered, right? Everything will be fine, right? And when I look at it that way, I say to myself, well, for the betterment of the club's progression, well, I guess we do need to sell him, right? So that we can be able to register the players that we signed, right? But at the same time, I don't want to sell this player for cheap. You understand what I mean, right? Because he is a player that is very integral to this team. Let's be clear here, guys. Because Dani Olmo is an injury-prone player. We have to accept that. And when he's injured, Fermin Lopez is the first player from the bench that we call upon. You saw him in the game against FC Como. Look up to Dali FC in the chat, right? We've seen Fermin Lopez in the game against FC Como. He cooked in that game, right? So for me, I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, well, unfortunately, I am not happy about this, but I understand it. But now I want to hear your thoughts. Ricardo, I want to start with you, man. What do you think about this Fermin Lopez situation?
We signed Danny Olmo from Leipzig for 60 million pounds. So I think Olmo's a great player, but he's not worth 60 million pounds for one. And two, if we sell Fermin and we have to rely on Danny Olmo, you know damn right that Danny Olmo is going to get injured, and we're not going to have nobody else to play as a 10 because we cannot play Rafinha as the 10. Rashford cannot be a 10. Gavi is not a 10. So who will be our backup for Danny Olmo if he's injured? Because this guy cannot stay fit for some reason. And whatever kind of I don't know what kind of medical plan that Pedri was on that kept him healthy, but we need to put Danny Olmo and Christensen on the same medical plan so they can have an injury-free season. Because if Danny Olmo is injured, we have no backup 10. We have no natural 10 like Fermin. So selling him for cheap or for more is stupid. But if we have to do it to register players, I understand. But here's my thing. Laporta is responsible for not going back to the 1-1 rule and for not getting the Spotify Camp Nou renovated in time, because how is he going to say we don't want to sell any players, but you let Inigo Martinez walk for free to Al Nassr? So my thing is, how are you telling us that we are going back to Spotify Camp Nou? We are going to reach the 1-1 rule. The season has already started. We're now in the 1-1 rule. Spotify Camp Nou is not renovated, and we have to play Valencia at home after Rayo Vallecano away, and we already lost Inigo Martinez.
Isn't that after the international break?
Yeah.
We have to play Valencia at home, but we might play at the Estadio Johan Cruyff. Why?
But Omar, the people who bring up the I like what you're saying, but remember, Inigo Martinez wasn't coming back last season if it wasn't because of that clause. So let's just be clear. Like, that's the only way we're gonna keep him. So if people, you can blame Laporta all you want, but if Laporta would have said no, Inigo Martinez leaves to Saudi last season, and we wouldn't have that season from Inigo Martinez that we had. We all saw the kind of he balled out last season. So that was actually a credit to Laporta because he gave him that deal so that he could stay for one more year. And so Inigo Martinez didn't want to miss out on the Saudi. So he said, you know what? I'll do it. I'll come back for one more season, but you got to let me out if an offer comes in next season. So
But
that's
he's
why.
gone. He's gone. He's not coming back. He's not coming back. Basically.
No. But he's talking about the deal he just signed.
Yeah.
That was a gentleman's agreement prior to last season.
We could have got some. We could have got some money out of it, you know.
But even Inigo himself said that he's not able to his fitness.
No, because
to do
he
that.
extended his contract. You can't get more money because let's say that Laporta goes to Inigo and says, "Okay, if you leave to Saudi, you got to give me some money. Okay, you got to give me 10 million." And then so Inigo Martin said, "Then I'm not signing. Then I'll just leave right now. Then just leave right now to Saudi because I can leave to Saudi right now for free and nothing's happening. If you want me to be back for one more season, you got to let me go for free after next season if an offer comes." So I'm just letting the grounds. I'm just letting out the facts so that we know what happened. So we can't blame Laporta for letting him go for free when that was a gentleman's agreement prior to him coming back for one more year. Or say if are we straight with that? So that's just why I want to say that.
And
okay.
I can understand Inigo wanting to leave for free, but now my issue is defensively we need to fix up, but not going back to the 1-1 rule is going to force us to sell players. Inigo is an exception because he chose to leave on his own, which I understand. So if we sell Fermin Lopez, it's not going to be Fermin's choice to leave. That's going to be on Laporta because he said we don't want to sell anybody.
Yeah, but the club's not forcing him. The club said that it's up to the player. It's up to the player if he wants to leave or not. But if we do sell Fermin, brother, today I saw Newcastle bidding 55 million for Strand Larsen.
This is what I was going to talk about that later, by the way.
Who's this bump? So if we are selling Fermin Lopez, I'm expecting 80 million minimum.
Or 100.
I don't want, but knowing Deco and Laporta, brother, Mason Mount, one of the guys in the comments said 70 million, right?
Oh my God.
And Buemo at 70 million about that. Cunha,
but
Maguire 80 million. So if we are going to sell it, Fermin, because there was a report saying, "Oh, Fermin is thinking about it." If Fermin does get to leave, we can't just allow other clubs to take control of the situation and just try lowball us and get 50 million or 60 million. That's still not enough for me. Fermin is a top player.
ABS, is that how I call you? ABS.
Abs.
Okay, Abs. So Abs. So here's the thing though. What I'll say about what you're saying is you're totally into something, but it's the Prem abusing La Liga. And that's just plain and simple. To put it in simple terms, La Liga teams are broke and Prem teams have money. And if you have a Rolex, and I was telling RSM, if you have a Rolex that is worth 20 grand, but I know you have to pay your mortgage next month, I'm going to give you 12,000 for it. I know it's worth 20,000 and I know you have to take it. So I'm going to bargain you all the way down as much as I can. And that's exactly what happened. Look, Eberechi Eze, right? To Crystal Palace from Arsenal, 70 million. Jacob Ramsey, 50 million to Newcastle. Mastantuono, dude. Mastantuono, a kid from River Plate, 63 million euros. You cannot tell me that Mastantuono is better than Fermin Lopez, okay?
Hendrick was 72 million, bro.
Freaking way.
Hendrick was 72 million.
But the Prem teams, they know that team Barcelona needs to sell. They know they know Fermin Lopez is worth 70, 80 million euros easily. Look at how young he is. He's a 21-year-old player. So they know they're getting a bargain, but they know that Barcelona has to sell to go back to the 1-1 rule. So they know they're gonna have to take whatever they're given. So that's why Prem teams are abusing La Liga, and this is all happening. This is happening thanks to Javier Tebas and this stupid ass La Liga structure that it's just hanging out teams to dry, man. And it's just you know what we're gonna become? We're gonna become a farmers league to the Premier. We're gonna become a farmers league if we continue this trend. If Tebas is still at the helm, this is gonna become a farmers league because even Pino, the best Villarreal player, just left.
I was about to say that.
He just left, dude. And then what happened to Getafe? Two of the best players, they had to let him go just so that they can meet La Liga's regulations.
Why?
This is a bigger problem than Fermin Lopez.
This is what happened to Serie A. If you guys understand, bro, you know this mega because you've been watching a lot of football. You know Serie A, 90s, early 2000s, how good the Serie A was, bro. Even the mid-table teams had superstars, bro. Even the mid-table teams had superstars. How did that league go from a league where even the teams like Udinese, flipping Sampdoria, all those clubs had like players like Klinsmann playing for them, right? To now, where do some of those clubs are not don't even exist anymore, right? Some of those clubs have actually gone bankrupt. Why is that? It's because at
Omar,
the end
can I
of the
say
day,
something,
they couldn't generate revenue. This is the issue here, right? We had that at some point. In the 2010s, we had that. We had Sevilla, we had Villarreal, we had Valencia, we had Barca, Real Madrid, Real Betis. We had so many teams. Yeah, they were not winning league titles. But guess what? In Europe, they were doing it. Okay? In the early 2000s, Valencia won multiple league titles when I was watching football. The first year I started watching football, guess who won La Liga? It was Valencia. It wasn't Barca or Real Madrid. Valencia won the league in 2004. You understand what I mean? This is my point. We went from that, right, to now teams like Valencia are struggling to even survive as a football club, right? Deportivo La Coruña won the league in the early 2000s. They won the league. In 2004, they did the Champions League semifinals, knocking out AC Milan. That AC Milan team that had Rivaldo, Kaká, Cafu, and all those superstars, Maldini, and all those guys. They knocked that team out. They went from that to getting liquid to going bankrupt in 2017. This happens all the time. I'm not hearing this whole thing about, this is the problem. These rules cost them, because guess what? When you keep selling your best players, guess what? When the team doesn't perform anymore and they get relegated, they lose money. When the team wins, they generate money. That is why when clubs like Sevilla were winning Europa League, guess what? That was what's keeping them floating. But guess what? Now they're not performing in Europe. They're not even in Europe anymore.
But even in 2012, Bilbao knocked out United as well. Sir Alex Ferguson's United, Bilbao knocked them out.
But this is the point I'm trying to get to. Tebas is destroying this league slowly. And the problem is now, I feel like now people are beginning to realize, this guy's rules is actually going to ruin us all. It's going to ruin us all because we need to buy players so that we can survive in this league to generate money.
Yeah, but
if we are not in the league, we're going to lose money.
He doesn't give a damn.
And the thing is, go ahead, Jonas. Go ahead, Jonas.
You know what's it called? Villarreal, like you guys said, Jeremy Pino is one of their hottest prospects. And Villarreal, my thing is this. Why would you sell? You're top of the table right now. It looks like Marcelino is going to get Villarreal a great season, and you sell. Why? Because Villarreal are still they're a La Liga team, desperate for money, and the Premier League came calling. And he didn't even leave. You know what's the craziest part? He didn't even leave to a top 6 side. Not even, honestly, not even a top 8 side.
I'm telling you, Farmers League.
Are you kidding? Villarreal is better than
Farmers League, but yet Real Madrid has the most La Liga titles. It's so sad, bro.
Because of Tebas, man. What can you do? These are football.
But one thing I would say though. Oh yeah, go ahead.
On the Fermin thing, I was thinking, like, for me, the way I see it, I think both things can be true. I think we do have to sell Fermin, and we don't have to sell him at the same time. For me, I don't think we're as desperate as selling somebody so valuable compared to, let's say, I'd rather sell, let's say, for example, Casado over Fermin Lopez, because knowing the situation of Dani Olmo being injury prone, and Fermin, he's out 10 as well at the same time, and trying to play a draw, for example, is unknown territory. We haven't seen much of him as well. So I'd rather, the way I look at it, I'd say we don't need to sell Fermin Lopez. We don't need to. But if we're looking at others, if we had a backup, or we had somebody, let's say if Dani Olmo wasn't injury prone, I'm fine with it.
Let's say this real quick, boys. Real quick, right? I'm gonna say this, right? This is where I kind of blame Deco a lot, and I know a lot of people might get mad at this, but it's just that, guys. What my thing is that Barcelona, I know this wasn't planned. They never planned to sell Fermin Lopez, because if your plan was to sell Fermin Lopez for real money, why would you get rid of Pablo Torre? Had Pablo Torre still been here, I would have been a lot more open to it, honestly. Yeah. But since Pablo Torre is not here now, brother, I don't want to sell Fermin. Who's going to be our new 10? Dani Olmo. If we still had Pablo Torre, I'll be like, you know what? 70 million. If we get the bid, it is what it is. We still have a 10 and we have a backup. But no, we don't. We don't have our backup. So now you're selling our backup. Now what happens when Dani Olmo inevitably goes down?
People say draw. People say draw.
Draw is the
unknown territory.
I know he's still raw. So what I'll say, Omar, first of all, the only way this makes sense, in my opinion, is if we get 70. We get 70 to 80. You know why? Because the problem is we're not in the 1-1 rule. And this is what a lot of people forget. We're not in the 1-1 rule. So it does not matter if we make, let's say we sell them for 50, or let's say we sell them for 60. We're not going to use the full 60 million euros. We're going to use 20%, because we're not, like, somebody went as far as to say on X with the whole explanation that Barcelona is actually in the 1-4 rule, which means they can only use a quarter. They only use a quarter of that. You can only use
25%,
20, 25%. That's nothing, bro. You're not gonna be able to get much with 50 million euros. Let's say you sell them for 50, okay? You use that. Let's say you sell them for 70. I'm sorry. Let's say you sell them for 70. The only way this makes sense is if we go out, we sell Fermin, and we get Hincapié. Hincapié wants to leave Bayern Leverkusen right now. If we can go get that left,
look back, bro.
He's going to Arsenal, bro. He's going to Arsenal, man. He's going to
go to Arsenal right now, bro. Look at the Premier League once again.
I'm just giving you an example. The only way it makes sense is if we actually go and get reinforcements. If we're not going to get anybody, if we're not going to strengthen the team, we're actually getting weaker instead of getting stronger. We have more money in the bank, but the truth of the matter is one of the reasons why I was so confident in this team in my preseason analysis was because one of my talking points, I had like 5 different points, and one of those 5 pillars was depth. And by the minute in this transfer window, we went from like having one of the best transfer windows by getting Rashford, by getting Rooney. I thought we were just getting better. We went with Draw at the left back position. I feel like we had 2 players per position in every single line. But now we don't have Inigo. That's a huge blow. And now we don't have Fermin. And like you guys were saying, like, dude, Olmo gets injured all the time. And dude, he's gonna get injured sooner rather than later. And who is going to be there at the 10? That's Fermin Lopez. That's the golden player. And like I said on my stream earlier, Fermin is not a bench player. People call him a bench player. He's not.
No, he's a secondary player.
He's a rotation.
Thank you. Yep.
Rotational player. It's a difference. Look, Fermin started on the debut for Barcelona in La Liga, okay? He was the starter. Fermin Lopez, he started that game. So you can't tell me that he's a bench player when he's starting games. And then he started I guess he was upset he didn't get any playing minutes up against Levante, but the truth of the matter is he's not just purely a bench player, man. If we sell him, we're literally selling our insurance as a backup for Dani Olmo.
Think about the volume. He's you know what he is? He is, in basketball terms, he's the 6th man.
I said that, and somebody corrected me on my channel, my video on Fermin.
Bro, think about it.
They told me that no, and actually I agree. Sorry to cut you off. The 12th man of Barca is Ferran, and it's true. Ferran Torres is the 12th man. So Fermin has to be like the 13th, like runner up.
But the way I look at it is because Ferran plays, but sometimes the thing is Ferran most of the time is Ferran plays when Lewandowski is either injured or he's too tired. You know what Fermin always rotates with Olmo.
Yeah.
Because sometimes Fermin comes off the bench and actually plays better than Olmo, and then guess what? Flick starts him in the next game and benches Olmo. We've seen him bench Olmo when Olmo wasn't injured. Yeah. You understand what I mean, right?
That's what I like about Flick. He uses all the players that's available. He uses them.
Yeah.
See, this is where I stand with this whole situation. We need to make sure, and this is where I'm going to call the club out, specifically that one guy. You guys know who it is. I've called him out multiple times. Okay? We need to do something about the way we sell players. Obviously, there are players in this club that obviously need to go. But this is the problem here, right? You can want to get rid of players all you want. There has to be offers in for those players for you to sell them. And you can't sell players that there's no offerings for. And here's the thing, Basset Volume. I've got to a point now where I'm like, bro, I don't even care how we get rid of these players, some of these deadwood. Look at what we just did with Odio Romeo. We paid him off. Let him leave. Terminate his contract. I'm at a point now where I'm like, bro, we need to do what we did in 2004, bro. We need to start terminating contracts, bro. We need to clear the wage bill for now, right? Because
you can't do that because what's like
no. I know certain players we can't do it with. Certain players we can. I'm talking about the players who we can do it with. Because certain players, you don't even need money for them, bro. You're not gonna get any money out of them. I'm sorry, bro. I know Peña just went to Elche, right? Yeah, if he goes to Elche, guess what? If Elche choose to buy him, how much do you think Elche are gonna ask for?
Not even $1 million, bro.
Like, come on, man. They're not gonna ask for much. You feel me? And at some point, I'm like, bro, I don't care about this Peña guy. I just want him out of the club completely. You understand what I mean, right? When it comes to Fermin is valuable to Barca.
Yeah.
It's valuable to Barca. If we are going to sell him, people are saying 70, 80 million. Look, man, that I would love to get an 80 million bid for Fermin Lopez.
Chelsea's not going to happen.
Is it going to happen? Absolutely not. The highest I think Chelsea would offer us is 50.
I think it's
I think
60.
that's the highest.
Maybe
I
six.
still go
And this is the thing,
That's
I would
why-
think-
that's why-
honestly, tell me what you guys think. I personally would take the 60. I would take it because I think that's the highest we'll get.
See, the
70 for
problem,
me,
Omar, is that
70.
only the team knows the actual financial situation. So if the teams takes, I already said this. If
70, man.
takes 50 for Fermin, that tells me a lot about the financial status of the club right now, because 50 is laughable. So if they take 50, that means we're in trouble. Like, we're in serious trouble.
And volume said as well, like, in terms of do not weaken the team and strengthen it. That's why I'm looking at it from that perspective, strengthening the team. That's why I'm more on the side of having Fermin Lopez staying, having him stay at this club rather than selling him. Even though I know we need money, but I'd rather strengthen the team and keep Fermin Lopez and challenge on all fronts, challenge in all competitions, and he will be valuable no matter. You can put him and he will do
I
something for you
understand
at the
that.
same time.
No,
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm looking at it from that perspective, over than we're broke, we need money. We need a valuable player.
Abs, I understand that, because this is the thing. Okay, hypothetically, let's just say Fermin stays, right? And let's say we're gonna get to the 1-1 next year. Because let's be real, even if we're not in the Camp Nou right away, we're gonna get in the Camp Nou, the VIP seats.
Exactly.
I think we're gonna be in the 1-1 next summer. That I just really believe that.
You
Okay,
say that every
No. So, Barca volume. Am I correct, right? Because I know you done your history with this. Am I correct in saying that if we do return in Camp now, right? That's when the VIP seats will be activated, and when that's activated, we technically will be in the 101 rule. Because remember during the fixture of the La Liga season, when we were told that we had met the requirements, it was because we were actually around that time supposed to return to the Camp Nou on the opening day of the season.
Yeah,
you understand what I mean, right? And then all of a sudden the delay happened like a few days later. And then all of a sudden now we were no longer in the 101 rule. So I'm looking at it thinking, maybe that's the thing. So, and we're going to return to the Camp Nou this season. Let's be clear.
And Omar, the reason why I brought that up is because if we're in the Camp Nou, we're going to be in the 1-1, because the Camp Nou is going to generate loads of money. So if Fermin can somehow stick around for this season, next summer we're not going to need to sell Fermin. And this is the problem. Why would the club sell Fermin? Like, can we not register like Ronnie Bargdi or Gerard Martin? Because
why that, bro? Haven't you seen when me and Valiant was sitting there talking about how Franco just got signed an academy contract,
the same
and
thing,
we couldn't do the same thing with Ronnie Bargdi?
Dude, I was gonna say the same thing. How can Mastertuno be registered as a Castilla player when he costs 60 mil, but we can't even register Bargi as a Barca athletic player?
How much did you buy Bargi for? 5 million.
So yeah,
no
there's
IQ individuals running the
there's a couple angles to that, but what I will say though, going to piggyback of what Abs and Jonas were saying though, look at the NBA, for example. The best NBA teams going up against the best NBA teams usually, and like when the starters are playing, it's usually blow for blow. The games are extremely close. But what happens when the starter players get the resting minutes is usually going to be, in the NBA. Who decides the winner and the loser? Whoever has the deeper bench, most often than not, it's the team that ends up winning the game. And a lot of times it works like this. Look at how many times Fermin Lopez off the bench came in for Barcelona and offered that spark, offered that kind of pressure, kind of defense, offense. The Fermin is the player who can give you that offense, that defense, everything, energy, dude. How many times? Look at what he did against Real Madrid in the Clásico last time.
That's the one, yeah.
That you can, if you miss that, you don't see it until you don't have it. This is like a band, right? Nobody knows and nobody notices the bass player. Okay, everybody knows the keyboard player. Everybody sees the singer. Everybody sees the guitarist. Nobody sees the bass player. But if the bass player stops playing, everybody's like, what the heck? Hey, what happened here? Because the bass is such a key element to music. But what I'm saying is, like, bench players, man, having the depth of the bench. Why did we win the game against Levante, bro? Because we had all the players in the second half to bring in so that we can resolve the issue. If we don't have Fermin, we're going to lose that element big time. Big time.
No, but I just want to say this, right? With Fermin Lopez, listen, at the end of the day, right, I actually really like Fermin. When he first came, I was like, man, Fermin Lopez, this guy, like, it's a breath of fresh air. Pedri, De Jong, these guys don't. Fermin, which foot you want to shoot, left or right, he will take the shot. Fermin Lopez, the way that he has a little bit of Gavi, like the guy, he plays with this tenacity, bro. It's like a mad dog. You know what I'm saying? Like,
fits the
I
beat,
love
He's
by
a
the way.
Premier League player, bro, playing in La Liga, bro.
No,
That's
but
the way I see
you
it.
know what it is? He just got it, bro. I don't know how to explain it, but if
Literally,
I'm
he's
selling,
born with it, bro.
I don't care, bro. Omar, I don't care how ridiculous it sounds. I'm selling for like 85, 90, bro. I want something good, bro. Like,
Bro,
because
that's not crazy, bro. That's not
our
crazy.
our team's gonna be weakened. We're not gonna have a backup 10. We're not gonna forget backup 10. We're not gonna have a quality player on our roster. And listen, I mean, it is what it is. But for me, I rather keep, unless if Chelsea pay 85 plus, then I'll be like, flip it. It is what it is.
Literally,
I heard it. But
I
listen,
got Omar. I do got a jet, bro. Big up,
I
man.
appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you for being here. Big up to every single one of you guys who have been on the stream, guys. We're gonna do one final topic before we do get out of here, guys. Let's talk about, you know what? Let's talk about it, guys, because you guys know what tomorrow is. Obviously, tomorrow is the UEFA Champions League draw, ladies and gentlemen.
God.
As you can see, the teams
I'm
are all
excited,
complete
man.
now.
I'm
All of
ready,
the
bro.
teams, there it is. As you can see,
I'm
Barcelona,
telling
we are in part one. We're the last team on part one with Dortmund, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, Real Madrid, and PSG. And in part two, you got Arsenal, Leverkusen, Atletico, Benfica, Atalanta,
Is
Villarreal,
that confirmed, yeah?
Juventus, Frankfurt, Club Brugge. Part three, we got Tottenham, PSV, Ajax, Napoli,
Sporting Olympiacos,
Lisbon,
Slava Praha,
Olympiacos. Hold on.
Sorry.
Slavia Prague, Bodo Glimt. Wow, Bodo Glimt in the Champions League. Okay.
Yeah,
They always
their
are, bro.
stadium is
Always.
nice.
Yeah, Marseille. And then part four, we got Copenhagen, Monaco, Galatasaray, Union, I guess, the Belgian team, Union,
SG, yeah.
Berlin, Karabakh, Atleti Bilbao, Newcastle, of course, and Cairo. Now, as you can see, the teams that we're more likely to play are in, like, so far you've seen the draw right now. Look at part two and part three. Now we see some tasty teams, right? In the part two, obviously Arsenal are there, Leverkusen are there, Juventus are there. You've got in part three, you got Tottenham, Napoli are also in part three. So
Napoli are dark horses for me, man.
We could see them in the Champions League. And part four, Newcastle is there. Potentially, there could maybe be a banana skin, but also we could play some teams in part one. I think we are likely to have two teams in part one. You understand what I mean, right?
In part two?
So let me ask you guys something, right? Which two teams do you guys want to play in the part one? Two teams in that part one that you want to see.
Are we like not the easy route, right? Because if it's easy, obviously we'll say Dortmund. But how are we looking at it then?
We have two. We get to play two. So two out of that part.
I believe we can beat. Firstly, I believe we can beat anyone in all of these pots. I believe we can beat any of them, right?
Right.
I want to put that out there. But the team that I want to face, right? The team that I want to face is from pot one. Is Chelsea, so they can shut up, quiet, stay silent, get humbled, and the other team is I want to face PSG, bro.
PSG. Okay. Figado, what about you, man? Who do you want to play in part one?
It's unlikely we're gonna face Bayer Leverkusen, is it?
I mean, they're in part two. We could play them. So I mean, in part one. So
I don't have any against Leverkusen, but the only reason I want to play them is because I just want revenge on the bald fraud Eric Ten Hag. You know, because the way that we lost to United under that bald fraud, I just want us to put 7 past his bald shiny head. You know, but I don't think we're gonna get Leverkusen. If we do, I will be there. If not, yeah. The teams I want.
But how many is it 2 teams in each pot?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No.
Right, let's do part one.
Yeah, so that's why I was saying, like, in part one.
I doubt we're gonna get Bayer Leverkusen, but if anything, give me. Can you zoom in the screen or you cannot?
I cannot.
Oh darn. Let me see.
So in part one, okay, hold on. So in part one, we have PSG, Real Madrid, Manchester City.
You can't play Real Madrid.
I mean, no, we can't play Madrid. We can't play. Okay, so the teams we could play in part one. Listen,
PSG, City, Bayern,
Man City, Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Inter Milan, Chelsea, and Dortmund.
Oh,
so honestly, which 2 teams do you want to play?
Oh my gosh, I want an English team. Give me
Chelsea
there.
Oh, City,
Chelsea
Liverpool.
there.
Chelsea. I want to get Chelsea. So I can go to the
Liverpool. We need revenge on Anfield, but I want Chelsea because they talk too much.
Okay,
and
you're mute.
Their fan base is so loud. They talk too much.
Wait, who? You froze for a little bit. Who was second team you want to play?
Arsenal.
Okay.
They're in part 2, bro. We're doing part 1 first, man.
Start with part one.
This guy's too excited, bro.
You know what's crazy?
I don't think Picado can see the path.
I can see it fine. I think we might get Bayern again, most likely, because UEFA is going to do it. So if we get Bayern again, fair enough, man. But honestly, give me Chelsea, man, because I hear Chelsea wants to like expose our high line and blah blah blah. But like, come on, do people seriously think Chelsea is?
They're getting cooked by Chelsea.
I mean, for me personally, I would honestly, the two teams I prefer to play are Chelsea and PSG.
Literally,
look, guys, how much do you want to bet that we're gonna get Bayern Munich tomorrow? Which is my
bro. It doesn't matter, bro. Whoever we play, I'm ready for. But
I'm confident. I'm confident we can beat them.
Yeah, but for me, the one reason why I want to play by PSG because PSG fans talk to me. But PSG fans,
I don't even care.
I need us to play PSG and Yamal to put a hat trick on their head, top, bro. Bro, do you understand the cash out on Twitter, bro, from those PSG fans, bro?
I'm there. Bro.
What if we play Man City? Would you mind playing?
Yeah, we go.
I don't mind. Their defense is not good.
This City team don't scare me, bro. This City team don't scare me. We're whooping that this PSG.
You know what's crazy? The only reason, I don't think Pep wants to face us because he knows he doesn't want to. He knows he doesn't want to do damage on us. So honestly,
it's not about doing damage against us, bro. I think when you look at it, they're not as strong as they were like 2-3 years ago. They're now like beatable now. They're actually like very beatable.
But the one team I really want to face, other than Chelsea, even though I want Chelsea, I want Liverpool, man, because what they did to me in 2019, I have not recovered, man. That Anfield night where we lost 4-0, I need revenge on Liverpool. Listen, I want Liverpool so badly at Anfield. Give me Liverpool at Anfield, man. I need revenge. Look, I think Liverpool is a fantastic team. They got great players. They have Mohamed Salah. But I need revenge, man. I need revenge at Anfield, man. Remember what they did to us in the second leg at Anfield. What they did to my GOAT, Lionel Messi. And don't forget, Jordi Alba was crying like a bitch. Like, bro, I need Liverpool. I need Liverpool at Anfield. I need it.
To tell you the truth, bro, yeah, listen, we can point the finger at Liverpool. I blame our team. I don't even blame Liverpool.
I blame Jordi Alba crying out.
Brother, Jordi Alba, man. Oh,
but yeah, he says, yo, guys in the chat, you guys tell me which two teams do you want to see in the Champions League?
Who do you guys want to play?
So, yeah, Gustavo.
Well, you know what I predict? I predict we're gonna have a hard league phase.
That's fine.
I think, and that's important because you've seen part 2 and part 3. There's some good teams there. So
also the last 2 years we had easy runs. We had easy runs last year.
What if PSG has to face Real Madrid? Oh, I'll be there.
Bro, I don't care about PSG and Real Madrid, bro.
I know, but
they can do their
bro.
own
Even if you finish top 20, you can still make it to the round of 16, bro.
True.
Whatever.
Doesn't matter, bro.
So,
but still,
as long as we face the strong teams,
right,
we need to get tested. That's the thing.
Which team do you want to get revenge on, by the way, guys? Which team do you need revenge
obviously,
on?
Liverpool and Inter Milan is the main ones, obviously.
Omar?
The main ones. But I'm not looking at revenge. I'm looking at
I'm not even looking at. To be honest with you, I personally
we need to get tested. We need to face
yeah, that's true also.
That's what I'm looking at.
I do want to see us play some good teams in the group.
I want to see English teams.
That's why I said I want to see PSG because they're the champions.
What if we play Newcastle at St. James Park? Would you like that?
Hold on, forgot.
Yeah, bro, we can beat Newcastle. What we doing?
Yeah, we can beat Newcastle. But for me, I would play PSG. I want to see PSG. I think Chelsea versus Barca. Just for the nostalgia.
The history. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to.
Let's rob them again. Let's rob them.
I do want to play Arsenal, right? Because I think that we can play Arsenal.
What about Leverkusen?
I also
let me see. A bogey team,
let me see. In part 2, I would say another team I see in part 2 that I would like to play is, Leverkusen are not as strong as they were last season.
Yeah, but remember Messi scored 4 goals, right?
Maybe in part 2, I probably want to play like Atalanta because we played them last season.
Napoli, I don't mind facing them.
Napoli, yeah, we could play Napoli. We could play Tottenham in the next round, right?
That would be funny.
You know what? No, you know which game I see being a tough one away from home?
What?
It's gonna be Bodo Glimt. I think Bodo
Glimt. What about Galatasaray away?
Galatasaray away will be
yeah,
good.
that's
Galatasaray is a good one as well. But yeah, Newcastle at St. James's Park will be a very, very good one, man. That stadium is going to be rocking.
We
played them in the early 90s. We played them in the 90s, and we actually lost.
Somebody said Frankfurt.
Yeah, Frankfurt. Yeah,
but Dortmund, AC Milan,
I would say Frankfurt look really wounded this season, bro. They've lost 2 of their best players, like the whole of last season. Like they lost Ekatike and they also lost
That's
Mamouche
true.
in January. So
That's
they've
true.
lost
Why
a
don't
lot
we
of
play? We should play. What other team should we? What about Benfica? No, Benfica.
No, I'm tired
I
of
wouldn't mind
Benfica
playing
and
I'm
Benfica.
tired
Dortmund.
of Benfica, man. I play Benfica enough
I'm
times,
tired of
bro.
Dortmund as well, bro.
Dortmund. Oh my god, I am tired of playing. And
I want to get tested. I don't even care.
I
Because
want
listen,
Just give me the strongest team,
if
bro.
we don't play well, because that will show me where this team is in the Champions
Exactly.
League. If we get tough draws and we lose most of our big games, then I'm like, okay, we're not.
What if we play Monaco again?
Don't matter. But yo, you know what? Actually, I'm going to be watching Monaco this season because Pogba is there. I like.
And
Pogba.
Ansu and Pogba are there, boys. Let's not forget.
Yeah, Pogba, my guy, is there. But yeah, I mean, listen, Frankfurt are one of those teams. Who knows? Maybe they might be one of those teams to give a.
Should we wrap it up, Omar?
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, man.
Anyway.
What time is the draw going to be tomorrow? Because I'm going to be at work and I don't know if
it's going to be 5 p.m. My time. So probably what time is it now for you guys?
It is
5 p.m.
It is 6.
What time is it right now where you are? What time is it?
11:30 p.m. 11:30 p.m.
So it's 11:30, so 5 p.m. So that's going to be around noon. So
yeah.
Basically, it's going to be around my lunchtime at work because I start at 8 o'clock in the
morning. Yeah, I'll probably be doing a live stream.
I'll probably do a live watch.
I'll probably do a live stream.
I'm probably going to watch the live stream. But yeah, we need honestly. Listen, the only reason we need English teams is because the Premier League, well, Prem fans in general are always disrespecting Barcelona.
Thank you, Easy. There you go.
They talk too much.
Yeah, but all right, Omar. I guess we'll see you next week Wednesday after we play Rayo Vallecano.
Anyway, yeah. But big up to every single one of you guys who've been on this stream. Big up to the chat. You guys have been absolutely incredible. This has been another episode of the Culers Culture Show, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me make sure you guys smash the like button on your way out. We're on 35 likes. Get us with 40 likes before the end of the stream today, guys. Before we end the stream, guys. For those of you guys who haven't liked the video, like the video on your way out. Appreciate every single one of you. Make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and yeah, man, take care, everybody.
Take care, man. See you guys.
Take care.
Laters.